Welcome to the FD Hurka Metrology channel. Today, we are walking through one of the most important steps any facility can take to support reliable measurements and consistent quality, building an effective calibration schedule. Let's break down exactly how to do it right. What is an effective calibration schedule? An effective calibration schedule is a structured plan that helps a facility determine which instruments need calibration, how often they should be calibrated, who is responsible, and how records are managed, making calibration a planned and controlled process rather than a reactive one. Why is a calibration schedule important for a facility? A calibration schedule helps support accurate measurements, consistent quality, better equipment control, and stronger confidence in inspection and testing results. And when measurement equipment is not checked at appropriate intervals, small errors can pass unnoticed into production, testing, and documentation over time. How do you start creating an effective calibration schedule? The first step is building a complete inventory of all measurement and test equipment used in the facility, including important details like equipment name and type, unique asset or serial number, location, department or process owner, measurement range, current calibration status, last calibration date, and next due date. Should every tool in a facility have the same calibration interval? No, calibration intervals should be based on factors such as how critical the instrument is, how often it is used, its environment, its stability, and the tolerances involved, because an effective calibration schedule is risk-based rather than one-size-fits-all, and NIST confirms that no single fixed recalibration interval fits every measuring device. What types of equipment usually need closer calibration control? Equipment used for final inspection, product acceptance, compliance verification, or critical process control usually needs closer attention and tighter calibration scheduling, while tools used only for rough reference or general setup may fall into a different classification with different requirements. How does calibration history help improve a schedule? Calibration history can show whether an instrument stays stable over time or tends to drift, which helps a facility decide whether intervals should stay the same, be shortened, or be extended. And this is where good record keeping moves from a paperwork task to a tool for making smarter, evidence-based scheduling decisions. Can environmental conditions affect calibration scheduling? Yes. Tools used in harsh conditions such as heat, vibration, dust, moisture, or frequent movement may need more frequent calibration or additional checks, because two identical instruments may need very different scheduling depending on the real-world conditions they face every day. What are intermediate checks in a calibration program? Intermediate checks are routine inspections or verification steps performed between full calibrations to confirm that equipment is still working as expected, and they can include daily verification against a reference standard, pre-use checks for critical devices, visual inspections for damage or wear, and functional checks at defined intervals. What should happen if equipment becomes overdue or out of tolerance? The facility should have a documented process for removing, reviewing, or restricting that equipment and determining whether any recent measurements or products may have been affected, because these decisions should never be improvised under pressure, and an effective calibration schedule works best when the response rules are already clearly defined. How often should a calibration schedule be reviewed and updated? A calibration schedule should be reviewed regularly, especially when equipment usage changes, new tools are added, records show drift, or process requirements change, because the best calibration schedule is not created once and forgotten, but improves over time as the facility learns more about its equipment, processes, and performance trends. How does FD Hurka Metrology support facilities with calibration needs? FD Hurka Metrology offers both in-house and on-site calibration services, support and training, and a temperature and humidity-controlled laboratory certified to ISO 17025-2017 standards with A2LA accreditation, so your facility has a trusted and qualified calibration partner whenever you need one. Visit fdhurka.com to learn more and get started today.